what is up, takers, and welcome back to Ty's Take Today Live. You guys already know we do this every Thursday and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And coming up on today's show, we are actually going to get to that in just a moment. But if you guys aren't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram at It's Ty's Take Today, Facebook.com/@ It's Ty's Take Today. We try to keep it real simple for you all. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so you can never miss out on upcoming episodes, as well as take a look back at some of our previous interviews, content, and conversations. And then if you're old school and looking for something to read, TysTakeToday.com as always. And I've been doing this ever since the end of February, so this show is no different. I want to start off by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, mommies to be, mother figures, or even those that have lost children, or those that have lost their mothers. And just let us we're thinking of you, and Happy Mother's Day, and our thoughts are going out to everybody that are celebrating. And of course, I'm gonna share a quick picture of me and my mom. Shout outs to my mom, who is usually in the chat, always watching. If you guys look at her Facebook, it's nothing but Ty's Take Today episodes and content. So shout outs to my mom, who is currently recovering from some health circumstances, and she's going to be home real soon. So I'm excited to catch up and share all these episodes with her and get caught up with her and what's been going on in the world of Ty's Take Today. So that being said, I am going to introduce our guest for tonight's episode. And we are going to be talking to music artist Quinn about his journey as a music artist, and talk about his upcoming projects in EP, which is scheduled to be coming soon. So I'm gonna go ahead and add Quinn to the virtual platform right now. And then, of course, if you guys want to share your thoughts in the comments, be sure to let us know who's watching, and if you guys have any questions for me or our guest. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add Quinn. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
What is up? Thank you so much for joining us. I really just want to introduce you as the creative and music artist that you are to our audience, and really just take us back to kick it off to like the early days. What was it like growing up in the city, and how did the city kind of shape your creativity and you as a person and artist?
Man, you know what? Growing up in the city actually it really didn't have much to do with music for me. Like as a kid, really, it was really just being a kid, hanging out with my siblings, running up and down the block, riding bikes. So I really started doing like music and dancing, kind of like off script, I guess, if you would say. I kind of learned about it in elementary school in like music class. So yeah.
Absolutely. And then like when was there like a key moment in your life when you were like, this is what I'm passionate about, this is my purpose, this is what I want to pursue? Was there any like a defining moment?
Not really a defining moment, but I guess like I do recall one of the times when I was like doing background dancing. We had a long like a road trip to get to like our venue or whatever. And I think Beyonce's 4 album had like just leaked or something like that. So we was kind of hearing it early. And after like listening to that album, like just straight through, I was like, man, like, okay, let's get serious, like let's get serious. Let's take it serious. So I would probably say maybe that would have been a moment for me.
Absolutely. And Quinn, for you, you started off like early on in your journey, like a part of a boy band, right?
Yeah.
Or like a music group. So can you take us back to like way back then, and like to how that kind of inspired you and kind of like carried you on your journey to where you are now as an artist?
Well, first, that was like a group that we had to like audition for. So it was kind of like Detroit's own version of like making the band or something like that. Um, and honestly, only myself and one other guy made it. It was supposed to be like a 4 to 5 like member group, and only 2 of us made it. So that was like a long process all in itself. Just scrummaging around the city looking for not talent, because we got the talent, but looking for the talent who wanted to like be involved and and take part. But being in a boy band, it was tough for me because I'm used to being like the one who's kind of like the best, I guess, all the time. So getting into like a band where there are like three other guys who um they may have not like danced as good as I could, but like vocally, like they were like pretty, pretty great. So that was like tough for me, like not being the best singer and all of that. So that took some time, and that actually put like put a damper on me, honestly. So it's kind of like freeing when the group was over, just because it came with a lot of drama. All men, you would think it would be like that with women, but like all men, it was a lot of drama, and I learned a lot about like myself and how I can work with others, and and stuff like that. And while I'm great at it, not everyone else is, and it kind of became like a competition, and that was what I didn't like. So that's when it was time to like,
Absolutely. And aside from like being, working and being a part of like a boy group, um, what were there any other like challenges or obstacles that you faced like early on in your journey, or even kind of some challenges that you're facing as an independent artist today?
the biggest thing is always going to be exposure. It's really hard. It's hard for an artist who isn't independent, So being an artist who is independent and you trying to get yourself out there, and being in Detroit, we don't really have a lot of avenues, so it really is like social media and YouTube and TikTok and all that good stuff. That's kind of like our main outlet, honestly. So it's hard because I mean, talent is everywhere. So when you put yourself into that pool of like other talented people, you can get lost, like lost in that shuffle. And that can be kind of disheartening too, because you work, doesn't mean it's not good, it's not great, but I'm out there, mine is good, yours is good, Joe down the street, his is good, so it's just like that's probably the hardest thing. And of course, paying for everything by yourself. So that's the toughest thing I would say. Like everything is out of your own pocket and all of that. So
Absolutely. And I know we talked a little bit about you being a part of a boy band early on, but you've also danced back up at summer jams for Dollhouse. What was that experience like? And I know that Ryan Destiny, that was her group, right? Or that she
love
was
Ryan.
in.
Yeah, that was actually that was before she was even like this big Ryan that we know right now. Like they were kind of fresh too, her group, but they did have like a really good following and stuff like that. I got that opportunity from Tristan Andrews, and he's the founder of Acid. I don't know who remembers that dance crew, but they were on like America's Best Dance Crew on MTV. And he did a lot of choreographing and um, like creative direction and stuff like that for a lot of Detroit artists and like Vina Mills and Rocksteady, and Dollhouse just so happened to be one of those groups. And I have been working with Tristan for a while. So, when the opportunity came up, he just reached out. He didn't tell me what it was for. He was just like, hey, you want to dance? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I was actually in my boy band at the time too. So like when he reached out, and I initially said no because I'm like, I'm in a boy band too. Like I have a group. How can I, do that? And they were like, you better do it. You better do it. So I did it. But it was just great, like just to see them and like just the hard work that they were putting in, like as a group, and like what their goals and stuff were. And they all were just like really cool, like individually, they all were like really cool. Ryan was like, me and Ryan, we still are, very cool, like, to this day, from that one. Like that's the only time I think I ever like danced with them was that time, but it was great. I had a good time. It was some exposure, especially being at the summer jams. The summer jams is like that's it.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. That's incredible. Just and like for you to have even still to be able to keep that connection and business relationship, like that's really dope. As far as like your musical journey and some of your influences, I know you mentioned like Stevie Wonder, Aaliyah. How are those still some of your inspirations today, and how do those artists kind of inspire you when it comes to your creative process and your individuality?
Um, for me, like with Stevie Wonder, I just love the way Stevie Wonder he paints pictures when he writes. Like when he writes music, he paints pictures, and I guess it's weird to say. I guess it's not weird. It's funny to say that. I guess because like with him being blind, so he's able to like vividly like create like these images that you can clearly see. While you're listening to his music, you can visualize everything that he's saying and then the way that he sings. Same with Aaliyah as far as her vocal, like just the way she just everything is really chill, nothing too over the top. And that's kind of how I like to approach like my singing, my music. Very laid back, like I don't want to do all that like screaming and hollering, just all tone and storytelling pretty much.
Absolutely. And then for you, like as far as like when it comes to your writing process, for like a new track or a new single, do you start with like the lyrics, melody, beat, or does it really just depends on what the song is about, or that type of process?
To be honest, it varies. It like you just never know when the creative process or the creative juice is gonna hit you, and you don't know how it's gonna hit you. A lot of times, I just write stuff. Like I can just be like sitting at my desk at work, and I'm just writing stuff down. I don't have a melody. I don't have a track. I don't have anything. I'm just writing. Um, like recently, a track that I just started working on. I already knew what I wanted to write about, so I just went and like search for a track that kind of fit that like that mold of what I that vibe I was going for. And then I just like laid a melody, and that's how I started writing the lyrics. Just listen to the melody over and over and over and over and over again to the words just kind of write themselves.
Absolutely. And speaking of writing songs and writing lyrics, I know you're working on your first EP. Um, what can you tell us about the sound and the vibe of that project? And do we have a release date of when we can expect for the first EP to drop?
So we don't have a release date just because I got like a couple more records I think I want to add. It's only going to be like maybe like five, between 4 to 6 songs. And what's I got a lot of songs already, but I want them to like fit this vibe that I'm going for with the project. So no date just yet, but I do have a single that I am planning to release, hopefully like around my birthday in July. So that might be like a gift to myself. The record is called Secrets, and I wrote that with another Detroit native, my homie Marcus Mims. He's out in New York now. He's doing big things. But we wrote that record like 3 years ago, and I recorded the record 2 years ago, and it's just been sitting. So every time we talk, he's like, I know you putting that out. I know you putting that out. That's gonna be your one. So I'm gonna put it out. It samples Aaliyah, so that was cool, to be able to sample one of my favorite songs from one of my favorite artists and do my own little take. So I can't wait for that. Got to do a video and all that stuff. So it's gonna be dope.
Absolutely. So like you said about like 4 to 6 songs, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Um, and then aside from working and collaborating with who you just mentioned, are there any other collaborations or a majority of the singles written, recorded, all produced by you?
Uh, as far as like the production goes, I've been working with Jupiter, who is also from Detroit. Um, he's doing great things too. Working with like Jazzy Faye and all these great people and producers. So he primarily has produced about every record that I've ever recorded. Because he just kind of gets like this, like I can give him an idea, he's gonna get it. He's gonna nail it for me. You know what I mean? He's gonna nail it for me every single time. So I go to him when I need what I need. But right now he's really like the only person. I haven't collaborated with any other writers or anything like that. I'm thinking about it, just specifically because like when I write music, I'm writing from like my own personal experiences and stuff like that. I'm not really a person who can just go and write a song just because, like, hey, can you go and write me a song? Like, I can't do that. So when I need to just write a song that's not like in touch with emotions and, and stuff like that, I'll that's when I'll bring in somebody else because they can pull something else from me and or even give me like some ideas that we can bounce off of each other. But right now it's just me. I might get like a rapper. I've been working with a rapper from Detroit. I've done a couple of songs for them, so I might see if I can get them like on one of the tracks. We'll see.
For sure. And is there any particular message or a type of emotion you want your listeners to feel once they do hear the project? Any key emotions or messages that you want them to take away as listeners, especially with it being your first EP that you're rolling out?
Um, I want them to be able to feel exactly what I'm saying, specifically because they've experienced it as well. You know, when you hear a lyric and it's like, oh, I know that feeling. That's what I want. You know, like when that first lyric drop, you know, after they heard it a couple of times, like if I'm performing and that first lyric drop, I want them to be like, this mine. this the one. So we'll see.
And definitely sharing those personal experiences and thoughts, and then making
Yeah.
sure that your listeners and audience can definitely relate and just have it be something authentically that you like as part of your story and journey. Most
Yes,
definitely.
sir.
All right, so for those that are watching that may want to expand their footprint in the music industry or as an independent music artist, or even if you could go back and give yourself advice early on during your journey, what would you say to yourself or to anybody out there that and just any advice if they're looking to begin the journey of an independent artist?
Um, don't do things for your friends and family. I did that for at the start of all this. A lot of what I was doing was just for like not just for, but I was looking for like that support, that validation from, you know, friends, family, you know, my other friends who also did music. It was kind of like looking to get there like, okay, like yeah, that was good or you know, reposting and sharing. You're going to get most of your support from people who don't even know you. So don't stop. Like I would delete posts if like my friends and stuff weren't sharing it or liking it. I would delete posts and it could be something that's really good. And you never know who's gonna see it. You know, you never know who sees it. I've gotten performance opportunities, you know, I've gotten opened up for veto and just from posting me doing covers, you know, when normally I would have took it down because Joe down the street or whoever, you know, like didn't like it and support it and all of that. Always support yourself. And I will also say that it's okay to say no. I did a lot of music in the beginning that I didn't like, but I was afraid to like tell certain people no, you know, like I didn't like this. So I would still pay for it and still pay for the tracks and, you know, all that, knowing I don't like it and I would still record it just for myself to record it and like file it away. Like nobody ever, you know what I mean? Like nobody's ever heard it because I was afraid to say no. So it's okay to say no too.
Absolutely. So just, saying yes to say yes, and then like once it's finalized, not like knowing that you don't like it, like just tucked away
Yeah,
in the vault, not
tucked
to be
away.
released.
Tucked away. I got a lot of that stuff, man.
Definitely. So as you continue, building your brand, I know we talked about choreography, modeling, and being a music artist. Do you see yourself exploring like more choreography and modeling in the future, or are you pretty solid in continuing your journey fully as a music artist?
You know what? I'm kind of in the process of doing like all of it except for modeling. I haven't modeled in a long time. That's a tough industry to break, especially like me being like a short guy. It was tough. So I let that go. I let that go. But choreographing, and I'm trying to even get back into like background dancing. Like of course I want my own career as an artist, but if you get a call to go and dance for Chris Brown or Beyonce, it's like that's like a no-brainer. And that's that exposure too, though, that you need. So I kind of look at everything as just the opportunity to get that exposure that I need to get my own work out there eventually. So if I gotta go and dance for Chris Brown or Beyonce or whoever, that's what I'm gonna do. So
Absolutely. And last question for you, Quinn, before we dive into this quick game of rapid fire. I know we talked about the upcoming EP, which we don't have a release date just yet. After the EP, where do you see yourself project wise? Can we expect some live performances, some events? I know you mentioned music videos and visuals. So, what's next aside from the EP release?
that's the goal, to get some performances, even if it's just performances like around the city, anything, just to get the EP out there, because it's going to be a long way up, just because not a lot of people know me. Like I said, I post stuff and I take it down, and and I come back a year later posting something again, and they're like, "Oh wait, you sing?" Or "Oh wait, you dance?" So, um yeah, so this is going to be definitely building from the ground up. So definitely I want to perform festivals, like whatever, just to get out there, get the music out there. I don't really care.
Absolutely, for sure. All right, so this quick game of rapid fire. First up, studio session or live performance?
Ooh. Um Studio session.
Writing solo or co-writing with others?
Uh Writing with others.
And R&B ballad or up-tempo track
For myself or to listen to?
for yourself?
For myself, R&B ballad.
All right, and music video or photo shoot? I know you just said that you haven't been
Music
doing
video.
modeling, so definitely music video.
Yeah.
All right, so now for a Detroit edition, Belle Isle or the Riverwalk?
Um Neither. I don't go to those places, man.
Fair answer. Any alternative? It doesn't even have to be in Detroit.
um, nah, I don't go to those places at all, man.
Fair. Fa- Fago, Verner's, or neither,
Fago.
for sure. Coney Island, Lafayette, or American, or like a local neighborhood Coney,
A local.
for sure, for sure. Motown classics or Detroit hip hop.
Motown classics.
All right. If you could only listen to one Detroit artist, who would you choose?
Big Sean.
Bonus question: favorite Big Sean song? Since everybody in the city is at the concert right now or this evening,
That's today.
it's tonight.
Dang, man.
Everybody scoped up them free tickets.
Damn. Dang. I didn't even realize he was here, man. But you know what? Anything off of what is it? Dark Paradise. I forget.
Dark Sky Paradise.
Anything off of that, like I think that's when I became like a Big Sean fan, and like I think I bought his album with no expectation. I think I just bought it because I used to hear that I looked like him all the time. Like before I knew, that's how I found out who he was, because they used to always call me Big Sean at work, and I'm like, I don't even know who that is. So when I looked him up, I'm like, well, let me listen to him, and then I'm like, no, he's dope. But man, anything off of that album, like I can literally just like start from the first track and just let it go straight through.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely an album that you can play like you said without hitting pause or skip.
Yeah. I think like if I had to pick, I would probably pick I think the song is called Paradise.
Yeah.
Um I don't know. Like that song just always like just get me like hype, motivated to just do anything. So I play it when I'm getting dressed.
And it's crazy that you said that because the concert at St. Andrews tonight is like paying respect to the Dark Sky Paradise album.
No
So
way.
yeah, that's wild. I tried to get my tickets. Big Sean is actually my favorite artist as well. So that's crazy that you
Oh,
said
sweet.
Big Sean. But yeah, definitely Paradise, Blessings. I personally like One Man Can Change the World a lot.
Oh, that is a good song. That's the one with his dad in it, right?
His grandma, I believe. Yeah,
Grandma.
his
Yeah.
grandma, and it's him and John Legend and Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I gotta play that album when we get out of here.
Definitely. So shout outs to everybody that was able to get those tickets because I tried.
How much were they?
It was free because it's like it's partnering. He partnered with Chime, so they literally dropped tickets Friday at 3 p.m. and you just had to log on and try your luck. Um, yeah, so that's gonna be a good show tonight.
And that's another tip for artists too. Stay in the know because I never know like stuff like this is something that I should know, but I had no idea. You know what I mean? Like I don't. I just be in my own world. You know.
Completely understand.
Dang. Can't believe
Yeah,
I missed that.
I'm
That's sick.
feeling some type of way about not being at that show for sure. And then
That's the only
I
show.
yeah, it's just tonight. And then I got a text literally 2 hours ago. And they were like, Tyler, we have a ticket for you. And I'm not even in the state right now.
Oh,
So
where are you?
I'm in Ohio.
You should have made it. You still should have went.
Look,
Hey, if you had to reschedule, I would have 100% like
it's all good. There'll be another Sean concert for sure. But Quinn, I appreciate you for stopping by and
yes,
chatting
thanks
with
for
us.
having me.
I know we had your Instagram scrolling at the bottom, but be sure to let everybody know where to follow you so that they can be ready to hear your first EP once it drops.
Yes, you can follow me all social platforms, same exact name, QUINNOTHAN. Every platform you can think of, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all the same name. YouTube. Yes, I'll be doing YouTube content too coming up soon. I started and then I stopped because it wasn't going how I wanted it to go. But I'm gonna pick it back up. So, but YouTube is also Quinton as well.
Most definitely. And we'll be sure to share your social media links in our description of this video as well as on our socials. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we can
Yes.
have you back once the project drops.
Yes, thank you for having me. You guys have a great day.
Absolutely. All right. So y'all are watching Ty's Take Today Live. That was Detroit music artist Quinn. Be sure to stay tuned for his first ever EP that will be dropping. We don't have a date just yet. But that's going to do it for this episode of Ty's Take Today. For those of you that don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So coming up on later editions of our show on May 18th, Sunday, we're going to be talking to filmmaker and actress Dee Dee Pauline. We're going to be talking to her about her journey. We're also going to be talking, which I'm super excited to be talking to him. He's a 10-year-old author from Detroit. He's a youth leader. He's got 2 books currently published, and he's also working and doing some work with the Detroit Pistons. So George Latham the fourth. That's going to be following on that same day. And then we're going to be talking to Christy Love. She goes by the name of the Mindset Queen, and she is the founder of Thoughts Become Things. So carrying on that mental health awareness theme for Mental Health Awareness Month. Thursday, the 22nd, we are talking to Ricky Blanding, who is the founder of Scrap Soils, as well as a artist. So we're going to be talking about his nonprofit that is doing work in the city. We're also going to be talking to therapist Darion Watson about his journey and just some overall things to improve everybody's mental health. And then on Sunday the 25th, we're talking to artist and creator Isaiah. We are talking to mental health advocate Jessica York, who is also the owner of Breathe Bodywork and Beautification. And then we are also going to be talking mental health with Dr. Candace Cox, who is a licensed clinical social worker, author, speaker, and executive director of Chaos, which stands for Keep Healing and Overcoming Struggles. So we have a jam-packed episode for you guys, and you guys can see all of those episodes if you follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. So closing us out, like I said, shout outs to my mom. Happy Mother's Day. I love you so much, and Can't wait to see you. And I just want to say shout outs and happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there, mom figures, aunts, um, or expecting moms. Also, I don't have the photo, but I want to say congratulations to my previous co-host, Lacey. You guys can check out our past episodes from our previous season, but she is expecting a baby, and I am so happy for her. So shout outs to Lay and her boyfriend, Jonathan. And I hope to see you guys really soon. And then for those of you that are still watching, be sure to follow us on Instagram at It's Ties Take Today, Facebook.com/ It's Ties Take Today. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube at It's Ties Take Today, so that you guys can get caught up on previous episodes. And of course, look forward to what's next. Also, really quickly on YouTube, if you guys haven't seen our Detroit After Dark People in Power in Politics. We are talking to local candidates that are running for office for mayor in the city of Detroit, as well as city council, and also going to be talking to state representatives and really just focusing in on politics in Detroit, in Metro Detroit, and in Michigan. So be sure to be on the lookout for those episodes that are going to be dropping really soon. We currently have our interview with John Barlow, who is running for mayor in Detroit, as well as we just recently also talked to a city council candidate who is currently appealing and fighting the state of Michigan because they have chose to not recognize her petition signatures for getting on the ballot. So be sure to check out that conversation. And then, of course, you guys can go ahead and visit TiesTakeToday.com as well. That's going to do it for tonight's episode. We'll see you guys right back here every Thursday and Sunday, same place, same time, Facebook and YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening.